Okay, let's get right into it. You're deep into building your family tree, right? And it's amazing. You're finding all these connections. But then it happens. You hit the wall, the infamous brick wall. Suddenly, the records just dry up, and it feels like your ancestors have just vanished.
Sound familiar? You've clicked through every single database, you've tried every spelling variation of a name, and now you're just kind of staring at the screen thinking, well, is that it? Is this where my family story just stops? Hey, if this is you, you are not alone. This is a totally classic moment for pretty much any genealogist. And you've done amazing work to even get this far. But, as genealogist and author Robin R. Foster explains, the farther back in time you go, the fewer online records you're going to find. But here's the good news. The end of that online trail is not the end of the road. In fact, it's actually a brand new beginning. So let's talk about how to smash through that brick wall by stepping away from those familiar websites and into the really rich, detailed world of offline records. Our guide for this journey is Robin R. Foster, and her work is what this whole explainer is based on. She makes a great point. Seasoned researchers, the pros, they have a completely different playbook for when those online searches just don't cut it anymore. And today, you're going to get a peek at those key strategies. So why does this brick wall even exist? Well, for starters, a massive number of critical records just haven't been digitized yet. They exist, just not online. Second, what you're seeing online might just be an index, a quick summary, while the original document has so much more juicy detail. And finally, some of these online collections, they're just not complete. You could be looking for something that was never even uploaded to begin with. So here's the key idea. We're not saying to abandon the internet, not at all. The trick is to start using it differently. Think of the internet now as your digital compass, pointing you towards these real-world, physical treasure chests of information. Okay, your number one tool for this is completely free, and it is an absolute game changer. It's the Family Search Research Wiki. Seriously, if you are not using this, you are missing out on one of the most powerful resources in all of genealogy. It's basically a giant encyclopedia for researchers, built by researchers, and it is so simple to use. You just search for the location where you're stuck, let's just say Montgomery County, Ohio. The wiki pulls up this super comprehensive article that tells you exactly what records exist for that county, where they're physically located, and how you can access them, both online and, most importantly, offline. It's literally your treasure map. Now, your other digital compass isn't a website, it's people. Believe it or not, there are specialized Facebook groups for pretty much any location, any surname, or any research topic you can think of, and they are filled with passionate, knowledgeable people who genuinely love to help. So here's how you should think about these two tools. The Family Search Wiki, that's your library. It's the structured, authoritative source to find out what records exist and where to find them. The Facebook groups, well, that's like your local historical society meeting. It's where you go to ask really specific questions and get that boots-on-the-ground advice from people who've already researched in that exact area.
All right, so your digital compass has given you a destination. Now, where are we actually going? Let's look at what these physical locations actually are.
These are the places where the real magic happens. We are talking about local libraries with dedicated genealogy rooms, courthouses that are holding hundreds of years of wills and deeds, and state or county archives that are preserving records you will never see online. These are the treasure chests we've been talking about. And here's a great pro tip from Foster's work. Let's say the wiki mentions a book about your ancestors' small town, and you think, oh, I'll never find that. Don't give up. Go to worldcat.org. It's this amazing global catalog that'll tell you which library closest to you has a copy of that exact book. And please, don't be afraid to actually engage with the librarians. Ask them about interlibrary loans. Even if a book can't be checked out, a quick email or using their website's chat feature can work wonders. A reference librarian might just be willing to do a quick lookup for your ancestor's name. They are your best friends in this search. Okay, this next part is so important. You wouldn't go on a big road trip without looking at a map first, right? Well, the same thing applies to a research trip. The prep work you do online before you go will absolutely make or break your success when you get there in person. So here's your simple, super effective plan. First, dig into the online catalog of the archive you're going to visit, so you have a list of exactly what you want to pull. Second, check out the courthouse website for their hours, their rules, all that stuff. And third, post in that local Facebook group and just ask, hey, I'm visiting next month. Any tips for researching at the courthouse? You'll be blown away by the amazing advice you get.
Okay, this brings us to the final, and maybe the most important idea of all. This is the big mindset shift that's going to take you from just being a hobbyist to being a truly serious researcher. This quote from Robin R. Foster, it's just everything. What she's saying is that genealogy isn't really about finding names on a list. It's about understanding the documents themselves. You have to ask, why was this record even created in the first place? What information does it hold? And just as important, what information does it not hold?
Because when you learn to think like this, when you start to understand the history and the purpose behind deeds and wills and old tax lists, that's when you'll know where to look for your ancestor, because you'll finally understand the paper trail they left behind in their own world.
Look, the online world is an incredible place to start. It's amazing. But the richest, the most detailed, the most human stories about your family, they're often waiting for you on a dusty shelf, in a quiet room, just past that brick wall. The only question is, are you ready to go find them?